Few big areas to clean up for Carlton. Definitely a better showing this week, but I think you have some strong feelings about this. I don't think a better showing gets you far with Carlton fans, and the heat is really going to be on them this week, Xander.
I think so. We'll touch just briefly on a couple of stars that might not have been given that much attention in the lead up to this game. Sam Davidson was incredible. Obviously, Tom Liberatore again, but Davidson, the unsung hero that really came to the fore as well.
Yeah, he certainly is. And I think all of the mid's ability now to just roll up the sleeves, get the job done, learn the position and play the way that Luke Beveridge or their team needs them to play in this tricky period where they've set up definitely. They had Bontempelli for arguably all of the preseason, does his calf in the preseason match. So they've set up a lot of their structures around him playing midfield minutes. And in the last 3 rounds, we've seen the ability of the next man up mentality at the Bulldogs, and they're getting a lot out of their youngsters at the moment. And I think it's a little bit of a watch on how good they can be when these stars come back. And their forward line's firing. Cody Waitman's still not there. So it's very good. It's a lot of hope for the Bulldogs if you're a fan of that club.
Carlton have revolutionised their fitness program in the off-season. They've moved on from Andrew Russell. They've gone to Rob Innes. There's been a big focus on aerobic fitness, but it hasn't helped their ability to run out games. They've kicked just 3 fourth-quarter goals across their opening 3 games. What do you see as the main issue? Is it fitness, or is it more of a mental thing for Carlton getting over the line late?
Look, I think it's a bit of both. I think we'll get into a few of the changes that they could potentially make in a minute, but it's that ability to also, when you start to lose close game after close game, you actually start to lose belief in the fact that if a team starts to come at you, that you've actually got enough to overrun them. And the last 3 weeks have kind of shown that they've conceded so many goals. They've only scored 3 themselves. And it's been a real question mark around that. And then you go back to the decisions that they've made in the off-season around fitness and strength and conditioning, and sort of starts to raise a lot of question marks around that, doesn't it?
Yeah, and make no mistake, this Thursday night clash against Collingwood is going to be absolutely massive. From Monday, I can tell you, every sports news camera is going to be sitting outside Icon Park, filming every player going in, focusing on every single second of training they can get. They're coming off a 6-day break as well. Collingwood have the bye. They come up against the Pies, who they've lost 5 of their last 6 games to. There's going to be probably 90,000 people at the MCG on Thursday night. They get Brody Myercheck back in the lineup. It might not be the most consequential game in terms of the way the top 8 plays out, but I'd go as far to say that there may not be more heat on a single game for the rest of the season as there is going to be on this Carlton-Collingwood game, particularly given it's probably the biggest rivalry in the AFL, and on a good day, they feel like 2-3 games worth of points anyway. What do you see as the main areas for Carlton to focus on going into this match to ensure they don't drop to an 0-4 start, which would be a catastrophe? Yeah,
the things that I'm sort of looking at is they need to find some midfield speed, and we saw that. Zach Williams went through there. He had a few centre bounce attempts. He was able to get the ball out and break some lines, but unfortunately then went down with the Achilles injury. He's still unsure of the severity of that, but that was the only real lever that they can pull through there. Their midfield just looks at the moment so one-paced and unable to really break a line. The next one, let's let Jack Silvagni settle in the back line. He had a fantastic game. I touched on it before. His ability to really just close Aaron Norton out of the game. The only time he kicked a goal or took a mark inside 50 was actually when Silvagni was off the ground, which I'll get to in point 4. But let's explore 3 tools. So Harry Mackay, when he does come back, let's persist with Brodie Kemp, because he's probably his best game as a forward for Carlton. 5 goals, easily his best return on the scoreboard, and looked really dangerous. And Charlie Curnow, we all know what heights he can hit, and he definitely started to look more like the Charlie Curnow we're used to this week. And that final point, second half fade out. So we've touched a little bit on their fitness. The thing that I'm looking at is the tactical side of things. So in the last 4 minutes of that game, we saw Norton pop up and kick a goal. Silvagni, Curnow and Walsh were all on the bench. They're 3 of your probably bigger role players in the team. You need them out there if you're going to win a game of football. And their percentage and their game time from their mids just seems to be a little bit skewed at the moment. Chera and Walsh only played sort of 66, 67% of that fourth quarter. They're the players you need when big moments are happening on the field.